Hello and welcome to the Happy Little Futures podcast. As always, let's begin with a nice deep breath into your stomach and a big sigh out through your mouth. And let's begin. So it's quite early this morning, and I'm gonna have to have some sips of coffee in between sentences. But I've had a good couple of weeks. It's been a couple of weeks since I last recorded. We've had the end of half term and now we're in the middle of half term, like Whitsun. And last week of half terms, last week on Tuesday, I went to make a cup of tea and noticed that there were dust mites on top of the kettle. So any of you that have listened before to my podcast will know that I've got quite a lot of anxiety and deep set, almost fear really, of dust mites. Not because they do any harm, they're everywhere, they're completely normal, they live in damp places and dark places, and it's just normal to have dust mites. But because one night, many years ago now, I got home from having been away working. My now husband was away still. I switched the light on in bed and I was just about to start reading or watching something on a tablet or something. And I looked up at the ceiling and the whole of the ceiling was crawling. And what had happened was the bedside lamp, was shining through a glass, and on that glass was loads of dust mites. It was a house that we'd not long moved into. It had been empty for a long time. Us moving in and created sort of a more sort of damp, humid atmosphere, because obviously we were breathing, and that had caused these dust mites to explode. That was the start of sort of my fibro being particularly bad. It's never seemed to get back to base level since then, or the base level has risen since then. And for me, dust mites symbolise quite a horrible time. So when I saw these dust mites, I previously would have freaked out. However, this time I saw the dust mites and I looked and saw the tap that's been leaking for a very long time, and I was able to just be rational and go, okay, the tap needs replacing right now. I mean, maybe someone without anxiety around this would have gone, oh no, we definitely need to sort that in the next couple of days. I was like, that tap's not going to be in there by the end of the day. I was like, that tap is going right now. So I waited for my husband to get home, because I'd got our daughter at home and all of that sort of stuff. And he changed the tap because he's a superstar. And ever since then, I've been in damage control of these bugs. So I've been in damage control. However, what that means is I've been spraying with like a vinegar and water and lavender mix and stuff like that, and just wiping down regularly. We've emptied the cupboard under the sink. We've realised that it's like that tap or something has been leaking for probably at least 5 years, so since before we moved in, and it's obviously now just got to the point where it's just a wonderful habitat for these nasty little things. But we've emptied all out from underneath the sink. And I have emptied stuff out from underneath the sink. There was things in there. The one day I was sitting there and I was like, we really need to take this flask out. It's where the flasks live. I was like, we really need to take this flask out. You could see from quite a distance away that there were little patches where the dust mites had colonised. It was disgusting. It sounds like our house is disgusting. Our house is not disgusting, but this one single corner in the very far corner of our house is damp, due to this leaking tap. So it's just like the perfect storm, basically. So I said to my husband, I said, that needs to go. And he was like, I'll do it in a minute. And I was looking and I was like, no, I need to do it. This horrible colonized flask. I was like, I need to do this. I need to be the one to move it. I can't let you move it. I've got to be the one to do it. I'd already acknowledged to him, I think this was a day or two later, sort of by the time we'd got everything sorted and all that, I'd already sort of acknowledged to him that actually I've done really well. I've not freaked out about these dust mites. And I was like, I said to him, I'm really proud of myself. I said, but I need to do this. I need to be the one to pick that up. I said, and I know it's disgusting and I know I don't want to. And I know you're probably thinking I'm crazy. And there's a chance that I might freak out when I do. But I need to do it. And I did it. And I've continued to keep on top of things. And I've come down this morning and there's like one or two, but very few. So I'm like, okay, we're making progress. This is good. But most importantly, I've made personal progress. If you had told me even a year ago that I would be able to calmly stand there and look even at a load of dust mites, I probably would have laughed in your face. I probably would have gone, yep, don't be ridiculous. That's just me. Like, I've got a problem. But I have not got a problem. I have sat there and looked at lots of dust mites and touched things with lots of dust mites on. And really, I wouldn't say overcome a fear. I would say I've overcome anxiety. That's not to say it's not there. That's not to say I'm not freaking out slightly that there's still dust mites over a week on. But I've not once freaked out. And that is big progress for me. That is an anxiety that I had long before the kids. It's something that I've struggled with since long before the kids. And I have overcome that anxiety of not being able to look at or touch anything with a dust mite on. And I just feel fantastic about that, and I wanted to share it. And I also wanted to share another personal progress. Yesterday I took the kids to the park on their bikes. This was just after I'd taken all three of them to a little shop that we go to on my own, which I'd told them the week before, I won't be coming next week because I've got the kids. And I took all three of them yesterday. So that in itself was like, okay, I really did not want to bring all three kids to here because they're going to ransack the place. And yeah, I did. So I was quite proud of myself for that. And then I took them out on their bikes. And I've got a video which I'm going to put up on socials today, hopefully, all being well. And it's a little video of the three of them riding on their bikes. And that video shows immense personal progress for 4 people. Our youngest did really, really well on her bike. She cycled pretty much the whole way. It's a balance bike, but she went pretty much the whole way. She wore her helmet pretty much the whole time, which is unheard of for her. Normally she takes the helmet off within about 3 seconds of getting on a bike because it annoys her. So she did really well. She was going fast. She was balancing fine. She was doing really, really well. The only times that I had to carry the bike was when some of the buttercups needed picking, and a few grass flowers needed picking. So apart from that, she was on a bike the whole time and did really, really well. Our son, he started off with his pedals on his two-wheel bike, which is a new thing for him to be doing. He did well having a go. He lost confidence in himself, but he was able to adapt to the situation. I said to him, do you want the pedals off and you can use it as a balance bike? And he said yes. I've taken him out on this bike before, used as a balance bike without the pedals on, and he just couldn't hold it. He hadn't got the strength. He was wobbling all over the place. He was getting angry at me and angry at the bike and angry at himself for not being able to do it. And he did immensely well on that. He then asked for the pedals back on and sort of said, can you put your hand on my back the whole time? But he was pedaling basically on his own the whole of that time too. And he did incredibly. I was really proud of him. And then our eldest, for the first time ever, she got on that bike and cycled and didn't ask for anyone to try and help her push off, didn't ask for anyone to run alongside her, didn't ask for any help whatsoever. She just cycled. She just got onto her bike and cycled. And she did so well, and I'm so proud of her. And she probably doesn't even realise that she did that, but she did. And those three little kids were absolutely fantastic, and I'm so proud of them. However, I said that there was 4 personal progresses, and that final one was mine. Not only yesterday did I take them to the shops that I didn't want to take them to because it would be absolute chaos, and I'm not saying it wasn't chaos. I've never been in and out of that shop quicker in my life. However, I did it, and they were really good. There was a fair bit of chaos, but they did really well, and I did really well to manage it. But I then took them out on their bikes, and I never, ever thought that I would take my 3 kids out on their bikes on my own. I have often taken them on their bikes with my husband, with other members of the family. I've often sort of had them go, oh, can we go out on our bikes? And said, no, we'll have to wait for your dad to get back or something like that. But my son yesterday morning said, can we go out on our bikes this morning? And I went, yeah, that's fine. You just need to get dressed. And I said it before I'd even realised what I'd said, really. And it was only when I was loading the car up with 3 bikes and 3 helmets that I sort of went, oh, I can't believe I said yes, and I'm just doing it. And there were people walking past, watching the 3 kids on their bikes and me walking along, that probably would have thought, oh yeah, it's half term. Of course they're out on their bikes. What they didn't realise is that was a life-changing moment for me. That was something I thought I'd never do, just be able to go out and take them on their bikes. I've always been too worried that one will cycle off. I've always been too worried that I'll have to carry all the bikes. I've always been worried that they'll all need help and I won't be able to help them, and there's not enough hands. I mean, I need 6 arms and 6 legs and 3 bodies, maybe 3 heads as well. I've always had all the what if, should I, is this going to happen, what about that, going through my head. I've always had that. And yet yesterday, like, unbeknownst to me until it was too late basically to back out and we were on our way, I just took them out on their bikes on my own, and they were fine and I was fine, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. And it was just the most incredible feeling to be walking along, having, like, doing something I never thought I'd do. And it's such a simple thing. It's such a a normal thing. Yes, it's half term. Of course they're out on their bikes. But it's something that I never thought I'd do. I thought that I'd be able to take them out at the weekends with family or whatever. I've always thought, oh, it's a nice thing to do. But I literally never thought I would take them out on their bikes on their own when they asked. And I'm hoping that you can hear in my voice that I'm still quite gobsmacked that I did it. Because I am, and I'm very proud of myself. And it's personal progress. And it's something that I didn't even realise was a big thing in my life at that point, was that I wasn't taking them out on their bikes on my own. And I suppose the point of me telling you is that it's really made me sort of go like, no person's progress is the same. No person's thing that symbolises progress is the same. I've had 3 big breaks over the past week, with the dust mites, with the shopping, and with taking them out. And I thought that I was better, I suppose, for want of a better word. I thought that I'd got to a fantastic place, and that for like a couple of years now, all that additional anxiety was behind me. All that sort of anxiety that I could overcome was behind me. And yet, within 10 days, not even that, 8 days, I've been proven wrong. I've been proven that actually, however little these wins might be to some people, I'm still making progress. There is still personal growth going on in the background that I wasn't aware of. And that is so big. And it's so reassuring that no matter how long you've been in recovery from something, no matter how long you've been sort of like fighting for a new level for you, fighting to let go of anxiety, stress, depression, like there's always some form of progress or thing, for want of a better word, that can surprise you about yourself, about others around you, about what's in store for you. And I think, if nothing else, this has really sort of made me go, I wonder what other things I'm still holding on to anxiety over that I haven't even realised. I wonder what the next thing is going to be that I'll overcome that I didn't even realise was quite as big a thing. I mean, in my head, I'd sort of gone, oh, it's normal to not take the kids out on the bikes on your own. Why would you want to take kids out on bikes on your own? Like, it's not that easy. You've got too many kids, too many wheels, too many legs, too many arms, heads that can just fall off. I'd sort of gone through all of that, and I was like, this is a normal thing, not just a Lucy thing. But actually, it doesn't have to be a normal thing and a Lucy thing, and it can be a normal thing that I do just take them out. So yeah. So it's just, I just wanted to share that personal growth with you guys. There's personal growth there from non-parenthood, and there's personal growth there from parenthood. And I've worked on this through the sort of micro meditations that I teach, through letting go and noticing my thoughts, practicing meditation in both short and long ways. I've worked on it on a conscious level, where I've had to sit there and say out loud to myself, this bug isn't going to hurt you. I think I said it at the start, didn't I? This is normal. This is just a sign that there's a bit of damp. This can be fixed. This isn't how it's always going to be. This is just for now. And it's not going to harm anyone. I've worked through it. I've said that out loud. My poor husband has probably heard me say that a million times out loud about those little bugs. But all that work culminated in me just cracking on with it. And before I realised what was going on, having cleaned down a load of stuff, got rid of a load of bugs, and having got the tap replaced and just been normally carrying on with it, and even removing colonies worth of horrible bugs. And that is immense progress. And it could be that having done that last week without really even thinking about it, that is what gave me the confidence subconsciously, ultimately, to take them out on their bikes. Was that sort of like, what harm can it do? You know, it didn't hurt me to pick up that flask. It might not hurt me to go out with the bikes and the kids on my own. So wherever you are in your journey, be it parenting, be it mental health, be it personal progress, personal development, be it just living life and not even necessarily considering yourself on a journey of any of these things, just know that you've got this. You are enough, and trust yourself. Trust yourself and your process. Don't let anyone tell you that you should be doing something if you're not ready. Work with yourself, with your limits, with your boundaries. Respect yourself and your needs. Take that deep breath and be present in the moment. Because ultimately, the more you can do those things, the more you can enjoy life and enjoy these moments for what they really are. And with that, I want you to take a deep breath in and out. And I will speak to you soon.